Big Balls Bob. Not to be confused with Tiny Balls Todd.
I do have a body. It's very fantastic. More of a temple, really, than a body.
I can't tell if he's doing a bit or not.
I'm glad you brought that point up because
Todd's a pussy.
It's right next to Todd's OnlyFans.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, Todd's not dumb. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, hey, just tell him he can't do it. It shows. It really shows. I'm a dumbass, and I'm sorry.
The first time you've been let out of mom's basement, right?
Oh, no, I'm still in mom's basement, actually.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show.
What's going on, Packer fans? Welcome into another edition of Lombardi's Bar. Fittingly enough, here at the bar for the Brewers game tonight, up 2-1, I think is what I saw last, over the Diamondbacks, trying to keep the postseason hopes alive. I'm your bartender, Dan Koenig, everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to the show, welcome. Go on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, like, rate, review every time that we go. You'll get notified every time we go live here on the Game On Wisconsin channel. Usually, there are two other doofuses that jump in here and do this show with me. One is too busy being a dad to come talk Packers football with you, and the other one is at the Brewers game, actually. So I guess technically all valid excuses for them, but it's going to be me and a good buddy, friend of the show, Amber, joining us. How's it going, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I am well, man. Yeah, Gil in the hat. I don't know. I think I'm just I'm naturally red. I'm not hot. I mean, it's warm. It's still warm out. I'm very much looking forward to the day here soon that I can open the windows and it be 40 degrees at night. But it's still
FBI
a little...
knocking down on your door, right? One of the two.
Yeah. 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 No, I'm
that
just
bit. Like, I don't even know the basis of that bit, but I'm like, let's go with it.
I appreciate that, Elmer. I really do appreciate that anyone that comes in here just understands like what the pecking order is.
I appreciate Emma. I appreciate Emma on that.
Nobody wants that, Emma. Nobody wants just a Dan show. That's for sure. Man, this is a weird one, a weird feeling to come into and talk about this game because you and I talked about, we did the post game for that Lions game last week, which was literally almost a week ago now. Right. And like we were literally last week where we were coming out of a huge game against the Saints. We were all riding high. We were feeling really good about ourselves, and now we've had a full week to just sit in a really shitty game last Thursday. How are you feeling right now as we're in the middle of this like weird pseudo bye week?
Man, like it's funny you say that because like I feel like after going back and looking at the game a little bit, you can see some positives. I have like some people that I'm willing to pay the tab for. I think you're gonna laugh. But all in all, like I know that with the way the kind of the team has been kind of built, with all the kind of constraints we have, and to go into that game with such a patchwork offensive line, I think there's a lot of positives we could take away from it, especially from Jordan's game in the second half, right? This starting slow thing really kind of bothers me. Is I'm like, you know what? Like, I can understand, last year with Rodgers when he was banged up, stuff like that. But you kind of know what you have now. Like, I don't know why LaFleur is kind of still struggling with that coming out the gates. And then, honestly, like just listening to a lot of the analysts, listening to a lot of the folks that, that also do content is really, really, really just solidified my pure and unadulterated hatred for Joe Barry to the point to where I daydreamed if I were to run into him somewhere, how would I engage him? Like, what would I say to him? And I don't even know what I would say to him. I don't know if I'll even say anything to him because I'd be so pissed. Because I probably think he's a nice guy and just from a personal level, but like just from a football perspective, he's like a nepotism baby, and he only is in the league because he was married to someone's, daughter who's a head coach. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
It's gonna be it's gonna be really bad when you meet Joe Barry and he turns out to just be like a total bro, and
the nicest guy.
It's like,
Yes.
shit, damn it, I didn't want to like you, but
No. And I still have to separate the two. I'm gonna have to separate the two because you know what? He is the kind of person that's failed upwards, and I just can't stand people like that. I just can't.
There's Joe Barry the person, super nice guy,
Yep.
loves his kids, packs peanut butter and banana sandwiches for everybody for lunches and puts them in a little brown paper bag with little notes in them and stuff. And then there's the guy that shows up to 1265 Lombardi every Sunday and commits football atrocities.
I understand the champagne. I understand the reference, but for him to say that and to come on to that press conference after what had just happened and have a smile on his face, it is literally etched in my brain with just pure hatred. I literally was on Twitter like, stop fucking smiling, Joe. It's not fun. It's not a happy time right now, dude. Like, you are literally known for having the worst defense in the NFL consistently for multiple years. Like, that's not something to smile about. And champagne problem. Yeah, we got a champagne problem. All right. Okay. Sorry. So,
but I feel Ummer's going to do the remember the Titans bit, like, football is fun. It's not fun anymore. It's not.
Yeah.
No, it's zero fun. Oh,
yeah, basically. Yeah, it's gone to that point. But I think like some of the folks are like you're saying here, there were ways to be positive because you can look at our team being 2-2. I don't think a lot of people thought we'd be 2-2, but honestly, watching teams like Minnesota, even though they won, right? Watching Minnesota, watching the Giants, watching the Denver Broncos, watching the Bears. I'm like, you know what? It's really not that bad. You know what I'm saying?
It could be
so much worse.
Hell of a lot worse.
Yes.
Hell of a lot worse. Yeah. True.
The Raiders. The Raiders even. I'm not trying to bash on them if they're playing them, but I'm just saying, like.
Yeah. I shameless plug here. I got to chat with some guys from the Raiders Odyssey podcast group here before we jumped onto this.
Oh, cool.
And it was hard not to just outright be like, yeah, I have a really good feeling about our offense going up against your defense.
That would be mean.
I mean, yeah, it's man. If Max Crosby can just be contained, I don't fear anything on that defense.
That's asking a lot, though, for this.
But the thing, yeah, it is asking a lot. I imagine like Jordan Love taking like Royce Newman by the back and just like using him as a shield, like moving him where he wants to go. Yeah. Okay.
Like Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy, right? When he grabs him, he's playing around with him, right? Like same thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Real quick, I'm gonna have you jump in here and give us a buy around. My dog just came into the room, so I have to kick her out. So please give the folks a wonderful soliloquy of a buy around this week while I kick my dog out.
All right. So if I'm going to buy around for anybody this last week in particular, and honestly for the whole season, it's going to be Andrew Carlson. Anders Carlson was literally, we were scared shitless. We thought like, oh my gosh, you go from Crosby, from this guy who literally can't make any field goals during the practices, doing all of these issues during practice and training camp, and we need to get Crosby. Or watching highlights of Mason Crosby kicking in Kentucky, like he still got it. And then Anders has come in and he has been perfect. He has been absolutely perfect. And I know Whelan has had some moments, but for the most part, both those guys being rookies coming in and performing the way they have, like I would buy them both rounds just because I don't really think they were given much of a chance this year. And if anything, they've exceeded all our expectations. And I don't think that anybody, Jordan Love has two, I believe, right? But truly those two in particular had the most heat, minus Jordan Love, on them of like, man, these guys suck. Like they're not going to be good. Like Whelan maybe, but like Anders, we thought he was going to be garbage. Like this dude's coming off a torn ACL. Like what are we doing here? Goody's an idiot. My gosh, we should go bring in some of these kickers getting cut from other teams. he's come in and he's been lights out. Now he's going to be playing up against his brother come Monday night, and not against him, but they're going to be kind of competing in a sense, right? And I can't wait for that, because Carson his brother also like had a lot of like trepidation coming into the league, and ever since he left Minnesota, he's been probably a top 3 kicker, and I love that. It's absolutely awesome. So those are 2 guys I'd probably buy around for.
I like that. Yeah, and I think especially with a game that was like what we saw Thursday, I think the special teams guys deserve a highlight.
I just read something about Dan.
Big shout out to Daniel Carlson, because he saved my ass.
It's fancy.
Two years ago. Do you remember there was a scenario 2 seasons ago, the season that we lost to the 49ers in that like terrible wind, the snowstorm at Lambeau, the really shitty game.
Yeah. I know.
So
2013 or the one after? Like after?
No. So this would be 2022, 2023.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Or 21.
Before that. Yeah.
So the Raiders and the Chargers were in a situation going into the last week where if they tied their game, they would both make the playoffs. And I wrote a tweet that if both teams come out and actually try in the game and end up tying, I would get a tattoo of the box score. And if people remember this, literally, I think Derek Carr had like a last minute drive to tie the game and send it to overtime. And there was like 3 missed field goals or something. And it was coming down to like the last minute of the game. And Daniel Carlson kicked a like 50-some yard field goal to win the game and avoided me getting a tattoo of a box score of a game that I'd never seen before. So thank you to Daniel Carlson. Anders, though, yes, has been so great so far. I think you can say that expectations have been met for him. And, I think in my mind, I'm at a situation now where, like, leading up to it, it'd be like, we got to sweat this one out. Like, is it going to be right down the middle? Is it going to be close? At this point now, like back in that Atlanta game, I was already like, the 56-yard, put his ass out there. Let's see the leg.
I agree.
Let's see what he's got. And you mentioned Whelan, man. I was up in the air about that one because I don't know how you judge punchers. I can't.
Yeah.
I'm not a punting talent evaluator, but yeah, he's been good. Iowa Joe brings up a good point. We'll kind of see how he does when the weather changes. That's always kind of
for both
of them. It's kind of the metric, for both of them. But early on,
Corey Brokowicz, whatever the hell his name was lights. Yeah, he was lights out in nice weather. But then he's the reason why that Matt was talking about that. The game you were talking about, the block where we lost to the Niners in the playoffs, where he got a blocked punt, the whole 9 yards, and like just terrible. No, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. We're definitely going to see what happens with the weather changing, because that's where these special team guys, that's where they really make their money right now. Whelan's from Ireland. They're used to like crappy weather, I think. So I think he'll be fine. Carlson, I don't know. He's coming from Auburn, man. I don't know. They ain't have no crappy weather down there, But you know what? Like we gonna wait and see. That's all I know. I'm looking forward to it. But you're right. Oh man.
At this point in time, you have to buy the kid around because he's shown up so far. He might pay the tab later on down the line, but
correct.
Right now, for sure, buy around. I'll buy around for Quay.
Hell yeah.
Because I think again, like I think he's getting caught up in the wash, and I think that he is unfairly getting caught in this narrative that he fairly sort of built for himself last year with the penalties, with the ejections, things like that. I think he's, sort of garnered this little reputation, oddly, among Packer fans, which kind of surprised me that there are so many Packer fans that are ready to jump on Quay. That's supposed to be your guy. Like that's, give him the support. I think he's, we've seen a lot of players, young guys that kind of have these on-field issues or, seem to be kind of going down this one way. And, they talk about changing their attitude, changing the way, and a lot of it sounds like just, word service.
Mm-hmm.
But Quay, you could tell he meant it. He meant it. And yeah, and that's right there. The narrative that he lost the game in Detroit, no. That play may have allowed the game to get out of reach, but that game is lost by the whole team. And Quay was up until that play, he was not a reason for them losing that game. So
he's the reason why they were in it, probably.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to be honest, that guy was flying all over the field. I mean, people want to say he makes tackles, 3-4 yards after line of scrimmage. I'm like, okay, do you remember Blake Martinez? Do you remember these guys that we had in the middle of the field, the Morrisons of the days and stuff like that? Come on, let's not do this.
Right.
He is a playmaker. I don't think I've ever seen a guy read and react to a guy in a flat and stop him for a loss or for no gain. We haven't seen that in forever. And with Devondre Campbell not being there, Quay's been asked to do more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he answered the bell. Yeah, did he make a mistake? Yes. But honestly, he has a lot of special team stats even when he was in Georgia, right? But the truth is, he literally was just trying to make a play. He was literally trying to do whatever he could to win that game. And I think Packer fans that are busting him up are just being assholes. I'm just gonna be honest about it. And then any of these Lions fans, and they're just talking shit. I mean, that's all it is. And they can because they won. They've been whooping our ass. But truth is, folks that really watch the game, they know what they're doing. They look, they have an idea. They're not gonna sit there and bust them up for that because they know damn well our offense didn't show up, and the rest of the defense was literally asleep out there. I mean, minus Kenny Clark, and I mean everybody else. I'm sorry, man. I don't know what the hell was going on that game. They didn't really get hyped. I didn't feel like they had the energy. I don't know. It's like they got punched in the mouth. Literally got punched in the mouth. Like we were talking about, in the Saints game, where we got punched in the mouth, we responded, right? This time they got punched in the mouth and just stayed down. It's like, what? Come on, man. I thought we're past this. But yeah, no.
Yeah, I'd like to get some clarification here on a comment in the chat from Mastodon talking about being all empty stats. I don't quite understand that. He's leading the team in stats, but even outside of the stats, if you watch how he plays, he is an intuitive ball sniffer. He's putting himself in the right positions. And you mentioned in the run game and in the passing, he made so many plays that stopped a very good Lions offense, and it was him. It was in open space. There wasn't any gang tackle. It was Quay making the play. So I push back on that about all empty stats for sure.
I want to comment on that too because it's kind of like there was a play where Laporta made the catch, right? But we've never had a linebacker that goes step for step with a tight end that runs like a 4.59. Because Quay runs a 4.54. He runs as fast as some pretty big safeties, right? We've never had a guy that runs that fast at his size, 240, 250 pounds, but actually shows it on the field. I mean, the guy is he is probably the most complete linebacker that we've had in Green Bay for a very, very long time. I'm talking about since the Nick Barnett days and even Desmond Bishop and stuff like that. I mean, he's a second-year player too. I think that's another thing people kind of forget. Last year was his rookie year. He's still learning, and he's had to deal with a new running partner literally right off the bat. It's not like he has someone that he's playing next. When him and Campbell can play a whole season together, with Campbell having not so many issues with the injury bug, I really think that you would see more of those pick sixes and him playing more on the line where he's blitzing and stuff like that. Because right now he can't do a lot of stuff. He has to play in the middle of the field. He has to be the guy that is the last line of resort in that linebacker front. So I don't know. I think that folks, if you want to hate on Quay, then you're going to hate on Quay. I don't think there's not much anything we can say to change that.
Right. Jay mentions it being maybe empty stats because they don't win, but I mean that then anything good that happens out of a game is empty if you don't win. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but yeah, I think he mentions there that it impacts the game with the physicality. And he does.
He does.
He's one of the few on this team that is a
A
hard
tone
nosed.
setter. A tone setter.
A tone setter. That's exactly
Yes.
right. He's a tone
Right.
setter.
We
He's
haven't had a dude like this since like the Cullen Jenkins days. I mean, let's be real. Like we lost a lot of our like ferocity when Cullen Jenkins was traded away, when BJ Raji didn't come back. Like those guys on this
I
team.
mean, that's that whole Super Bowl defense. That's the last time I remember this defense being like, "Fuck you!" Like this is
we're punching you in the mouth, and you're gonna feel like you remember that first year when Dom Capers came, and it was like the Buffalo Bills preseason game. Okay. And Dom Capers was like sending like freaking like legit blitzes in the third quarter, right? I know first, second quarter where AJ Hawk is coming in and just freaking just tearing shit up, right? And I'm like, dude, this is a preseason game. What the hell are you doing? But they carried that into the season. Like they did not stop doing that. They had psycho packages, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? But man, for a long time, Dom Capers, the guy that created Blitzburg with Dick LeBeau, like you saw that in Green Bay, and it was amazing, And man, I would really wish that we could have a competent defensive coordinator that could bring some kind of that kind of tenacity back to Green Bay. Which, like I said, hey, fire him now, bring in Wade Phillips, and let's go. I'm okay. I'm okay with that.
This is me learning that Wade Phillips is still alive.
Yes.
Yeah,
barely.
No,
but he's still there.
I will admit I don't know the Bryce Pop reference. I don't
Same
get
here.
it.
So yeah, you got us on that one. So maybe you meant well with it then.
Yeah. Okay, I get you. Well, let's go ahead and jump into pay the tab here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fucking everybody, but who would you like to single out, Amr?
Oh man, you really don't want to ask me this question. There's like multiple people that can fit this role. Joe Barry can fit this role. Josh Myers can. You know what? I'm gonna make two people split the bill. It's gonna be Josh Myers and it's gonna be Royce Newman.
Yeah.
To the point to where like I want them to pay the tab and I don't want them to ever be in my bar again. Like I'm done with both experiments. Royce Newman. You know what? They could put you and me out there at left guard at this point, okay? I'm just saying. When I saw him do the little Superman dive and not hit anybody, I was like, "What the fuck is that? Like, I could do that. Like, what is this, dude?" And I'm like, what, 6'3", 205 pounds? I'm just saying, I'd probably die, but I'm just saying I could do that. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? I'm sorry, I should never compare myself to an NFL player, but all I'm saying is that those two people should pay the tab because we have seen enough from Royce Newman over 1,000 snaps, and we know that he is a very, very – he's not even below average. He's a terrible football player. I don't even know how the hell he did as well as he did when he was at Ole Miss. And then same thing for Josh Meyer. That second round pedigree is the only reason why he's there, and I really need Butkus and LaFleur and Steno just to say, you know what, dude, you're playing left guard, you're playing right guard, Tom is playing center. And there was something that Nagler was saying today where I have no idea what Josh Nyman has done to Steno right? Like, why the fuck is he not starting? Like, I'm sorry. He has snaps. He has shown that he can play the position well on both sides. Like, what the fuck are we doing right now? Like, you're paying him $2 million. You might as well put him out there.
Yeah.
Some of the decision making doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Even in that game that we brought up about the snow game against the Niners, we had – I don't even know who the fuck we had on the left tackle. We should have had his ass out there. But no, we had Billy Turner with one fucking leg out there.
Yeah. No, I am completely with you, Nagler, everybody. Like, it – after the play that should just be, like, on a loop in front of the whole coaching staff is – I forget who it was – had just took Royce Newman, like picked him up by the shoulder pads and just walked his ass backwards right into Jordan Love's lap. Yeah. I mean that was like if Sean Reich if he is not available, if he is not good enough to play in front of Royce Newman at this point, what is he good enough to do?
Why are they either one on the team then? I would rather you go and like trade for somebody or just like pick somebody up. Instead of us trying to trade for Jonathan Taylor, trade for Quentin Nelson. Get that $100 million contract. I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, like, what are we doing here, guys? Like, this, you're right. Like, if Sean Ryan can't get on the field now, then honestly, I've been questioning some of these decisions by the coaching staff for a long time. Like at this point, like what the fuck are we doing? Like I don't get it. Like it he said himself, coach was like definition of insanity is trying to do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. They've done that on both sides of the field.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, how the fuck are we seeing this? And you clearly see it, but you're doing nothing about it. Like I don't. Sometimes it's like sometimes you need new voices in the house because you keep promoting from within, and
Yeah.
it's just the same
Yeah.
shit keeps getting recycled over and over again. And I'm telling you, Jerry Montgomery's been there since 2008. No, he came on after Trovac, right? Yeah, he was an assistant for Trovac, so he's been there for a very long time. And all I'm saying is, minus Kenny Clark, we haven't seen very much development from that defensive line. Many other analysts have said the same thing too, right? And I'm like, hey man, when's enough's enough with some of this shit, dude? Like I just don't. Like you got rid of Joe Witt, who developed so many good corners, right? I'm like, so then why is Jerry? Does Jerry got pictures? Jerry and Joe Barry must have naked pictures of people, man. I don't. They have blackmail evidence. There's something going on.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah. No, I mean,
riled
no,
up.
there's no excuse. And I think, that leads perfectly into my pay the tab, and that's Matt LaFleur.
Yes. Oh, God.
Because
perfect.
Because of everything that you just said, all spot on. The lack of identity with this team for the last, I mean, you could argue his whole career, there hasn't really been an identity of this team. The constant problems with the defense, not being able to figure it out. And now we're at the point where, like you said, you're making all these comments about the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing. And motherfucker, you are doing these same things. You're the guy that's in charge of making those changes.
These are smart people. He's a smart guy. Like, I don't understand. Like, is he just so loyal?
That's
is he because the fact that Joe Barry was a good old boy hire anyways. Let's be fucking for real now. Like people don't want to remember, but when his ass left the Rams and he went with Staley to the Chargers, okay, he didn't go there as a DC. He went there as a linebacker coach. So my thing was like he was a linebacker coach when he was in the Rams too. Like, so why wasn't he the DC there? Because they know he's not a good fucking DC, but he's probably a good linebackers coach. And then because freaking Matt LaFleur sat here and panicked because for God knows why you want to get Jim Leonard freaking pet and disciple as a DC, and that fell through. You bring in this dumbass. I'm just like the amount of excuses and the amount of information I've seen people for the last 2 years try to make an excuse for Joe Barry as to say, oh, it's not just him, it's the players. I get that. I understand that. But I feel like it's an 80-20 kind of thing. Yeah, the players aren't not always doing the right assignments, but I want to give them 20% because the coaching is really responsible for putting them in the right place to make plays. And I'm just like, dude, like after a while, like when's enough's enough? Like,
yeah. I mean,
this is why I can't talk to him. This is why I can't talk to him. I couldn't talk to him. I'll lose my shit.
This right here, this is the line that I live by from Jeremy. I'm a fucking idiot, guys. Like I barely got out of college. I don't do a lot of smart things for work, but I can watch this and see it's bad. It's not working. And if we can all see it, what the hell are you people doing with it? And on top of that, to continue with the Matt LaFleur thing, is all of these things happening. Everything's building up, right? It's all of these things. Everyone is questioning it. They've been questioning it for years.
Right.
You haven't done anything about it. And when you start to get pushed on it a little bit, you call out the press and say that's a BS question.
That pissed me off because I went back and listened to that question 5 times.
That really pissed me off.
And I'm like, dude, he didn't fucking. Hey, Pete Doherty is legit. He's not a dude that's trying to do a gotcha shit for you. First thing. Secondly, you're just in your fucking feelings because your ass got your ass handed to you again by Mr. Bite Your Kneecaps. And guess what? He came in there, steroid out, jacked like a motherfucker, and beat your team again. And I love Dan Campbell because I don't think the tough guy thing was going to work, and it is working clearly. So I give him respect because he's not a dummy. He's a very intelligent dude. There's a reason why he was getting consideration for other head coaching jobs when he was in Miami and other places too, right? So I'm just like, all right, well, he's not a dummy. He just looks like a dumb jock, but he's not. And You come in here, you look like you're about to cry at the end of the first half, and then you come in there pissed off as shit. And I'm like, dude, this is all your fault. Like, you're the one that's making these decisions and refusing to let people go and firing people and making the right things to move us up. And it gets to the point to, like you just said, when does Matt start getting the heat? Because it's like, dude, like the players see that shit. Right? Like they are seeing, like I guess to a point where I wonder, the players keep saying execution, but deep down, do you really think like they believe in Joe Barry's scheme? Fuck no, they don't believe in the scheme.
No.
And they're probably looking at Matt like, when are you going to cut this dude loose? Because this is a performance-based business and he is not performing. You make excuses for him. It's like last year when Rodgers was cutting up and you never really heard LaFleur to kind of like bash him, right? And I heard Marshawn Lynch talk about Russell Wilson with with Uncle Shay, right? And how he said that when they realized that he was entitled and he was put on a pedestal and basically they couldn't ever address him, they had to go through Pete. That's when they started losing respect for him as the coach and the player. I felt like that happened with Rodgers, and I'm starting to see that starting to happen with Matt. I keep saying MLF because that's what I do on Twitter, but like with Matt LaFleur too, where like you said, like his players might be starting to lose respect for him because it's like, dude, like after a while, like you see it too. You keep talking about it, but you ain't doing shit about it. Like, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I'm ranting over here. I've had a week of build up.
Yeah, no, it's been rough. It's been rough building up to this and prepping for this because I thought I got all this out of my system over the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, on Friday you have the rant call with whoever. It's always my dad, and then Sunday we had football from fucking 9:30 in the morning until midnight.
We were supposed to meet.
basically.
We were supposed to talk, dude.
I know.
It's all good. I thought about it late, and I was like, I'll just text him tomorrow. And then I just got slammed. And dude, but it was such an awesome day of football. No joke. Like, I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Wait,
Awesome.
Toy Story football? Like, that was supposed to be the palate cleanser.
It really was. It was something, all right. I'll tell you that.
And now we had to build this back up and get all the way back on our feelings. But yeah, I mean, there has to be some kind of change.
Yeah,
It's a culture thing. It's a culture thing. Matt is a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He needs somebody to take the reins and develop some kind of culture or something. Jeremy had the comment up there.
I just was gonna tell you that one is the one right there. Yeah.
Your best friend is saying like, I can take this guy. This guy's a bitch.
Basically.
Yeah, basically that's what he's saying.
Your best friend basically said, I'm gonna put your ass in the deep end. I know your ass is gonna drown. First off, that's not my best friend. You go on presser saying some shit like that, I'm coming to find your swole ass and I'm fighting you. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm sorry, your family ain't staying with me. We ain't cool no more. Fuck off, dude. You go run your fucking stadium stairs because your team is sucking ass too right now. But all I'm saying is like him, dude, when he said that shit, I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed. I was like, Salah, dude, this is your boy. Salah's only in the league because of Matt. He's the one that recommended him for a job when they were like in freaking Houston, I think. If it wasn't for LaFleur, he wouldn't even be here. I think that's it. I could be wrong. It could be reversed. But I could swear he vouched for him. So I'm like, I don't know, man. That was dirty when he did him like that. I was like, all right, bro, you gonna pot shot your best friend like that? Okay, cool. That shows you what kind of dude he is then. Because if you could do that when you won the game already, and you gonna say some shit like that, you don't need friends when you don't need enemies when you got friends like that, dog. Fucking shit, dude.
I don't take it as personal for Matt, but I can see, but I see what you're saying there. Yeah, I think it's it doesn't speak great when a guy who you are close with has that little respect for the team that you've put together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just doesn't and again, I think it just like it just there needs to be something, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of everyone asking what's the identity of the Packers. I want the Packers to be. I want us to be the bad boys. I want us to be the ones that go in there and just fucking kick you in the teeth every time. I want to be that, and I don't think the Lions are good. I don't think ultimately Dan Campbell will be ultimately successful because I do think that shtick kind of wears thin,
runs its course fast,
a little bit at times, but at least it's something. At least it's something. You know,
I mean, honestly, like,
they
you get like some intensity, right? Like something that your players can get behind, right? Like, let's be real. Like they barely beat Kansas City because Kansas City was shooting themselves in the foot more than they beat them. Let's be real about that, all right? Like Kadarius Toney or there with stone hands like me out there trying to
right.
catch a ball. Won't even talk about that. But like you're right though. I just think that it gets to a time and point where LaFleur really needs to either channel that piss boy mentality that he had when he was with Washington, right? When they were all just kind of just trying to make it up or something, like trying to get up through the ranks and trying to make something from them. Because he's a very good strategist. I think that's what Andy had said. He's an amazing strategist. Maybe he's just not a good head coach. And
Yeah.
not to be a dick about it, but because he did have 13-3 seasons, right? So we can't obviously take that away from him. But it gets to a point to when you have to strategize and focus on being a team on the same end too, that you got to have your finger on the pulse of the team. Some people couldn't do that. I mean, McCarthy, for all his faults, he always had a pretty good pulse on his team. Like for the most part, he knew which way to kind of push and pull to get them to kind of go where he wanted to go. Yeah,
Yep.
some of his decision making wasn't the greatest, but at least like for the most part, he kind of had an idea. He did have the tough man like Pittsburgh personality too, right?
A little bit,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, like he did have that coming the kind of way he came up. LaFleur, I mean, man, like when things are good, they're great, but when they're bad, fuck, man, I feel bad for him. I feel really bad for him.
Sometimes it just feels like the Matt LaFleur stuff. It comes off fake.
Yeah.
It's
so solid too, though. Motherfucker, talk about what is an eagle? Only a crow attacks the eagle. Get the fuck out of here! What is this, dude? Like, what is it? Story time? He said
and that Kyle Shanahan thing. Like, what was it a couple of years ago with the quarterbacks? And they're like, who you planning on being the quarterback? And he was like, well, I don't know. We might not even be here tomorrow. Like, and trying to make it like all meta and stuff. It's like, yeah, maybe it's a Shanahan.
It's the tree. Yeah, someone said that.
Tree.
Someone said that. I agree with that because if you look at it, because Shanahan now he's a damn good coordinator. He's a damn good, smart, intelligent schemer. Okay, but he only got in the league too because of his daddy. Let's not forget. Like the nepotism runs hard in the NFL, and sometimes I'm like, bro, what you've orchestrated some of the greatest offenses in the world. You've also orchestrated one of the multiple greatest choke jobs in the world too. Maybe you should kind of a little be humble because you be talking a lot of shit, but I don't see no hardware yet. Like all this you keep doing, but I ain't see no hardware. Watch it. They're gonna choke this year too. Mark me. Y'all can mark this shit right now. They're gonna choke again this year too. But I'm with you though. I feel like all those guys, once they kind of got up, the only one I feel like is not like that is McDaniels. I really feel like when I hear him talk, and just even when they're winning or when they're losing, he jokes around a lot, but he's not like a dick about it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't come off phony. Is what my thing is. He doesn't come off phony about it.
Sure, we're still pretty early on in his tenure, so there's enough time for him to
show blossom,
to make the turn there. But yeah, I'm sort of with you. I do like what Mike McDaniel is doing, and I will say though, things are a lot easier when you have Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert and things like that. It becomes, heck, things were all rosy when you had Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Aaron Jones, and everything was hunky dory. We're 13-3,
Yep. When
things are a little bit trickier now.
Matt LaFleur was one of the catalysts for why Rodgers was able to turn it around, and up until maybe the last 2 years, Rodgers was that killer guy, right? He was like the Michael Jordan, like he's going to come in there and he's going to gut you, when you least expect it. I really do believe that until 2021 and 2022. But the both of them working together when they were like on the same page was absolutely amazing. It's just that once things went wacky with Goody or whatever, it's when shit fell through, right? And I kept saying, everyone has been saying this, and I know you probably have too, where this is Matt's time to shine. This is his opportunity to show everybody that he's a good coach and that he can take Jordan Love, who basically everyone wrote off for dead, and make him into a viable, above average or a great quarterback, right? And I think that pressure is getting to him. I think a little bit to when you see him come out in the second half and they just look like dog shit. He just signed extensions. Him and Goody just signed some extensions. We don't know for how long or how much. But I kind of wonder, when these things kind of start falling apart, is he feeling that intense pressure? Because I think we talked about this when Busting on the Boys, when Rogers and Tunyon were talking to those guys, right? And they were talking about folks that are highly sensitive and highly emotional. Both of them said LaFleur like that. And I kind of see it now, right? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I don't know. It's just maybe when us as fans, we see a guy come on second half and whoever's asking him questions, he looks like he's about to freaking just literally cry.
Yeah.
Like he's choking up because he's so freaking pissed. Oh man, I felt for him, and also I'm like, dude, bro, I don't need to see that shit right now. Dude. I need you to turn this shit around. Like, come on, man, we're better than this. Like,
And you know what? Then be pissed. Channel that into being
yes,
a coach. Get
and
in
they showed
somebody's
up.
fucking face.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Grab somebody by the face mask. Do something. Show me something.
Supposedly
know?
he did. Supposedly before the end of the first
I-
half, he held everybody around and he just tore everyone a new one. And they did come up in the second half, and they definitely did go down the field and score. Right? They look better, But like, I'm like, dog, maybe you need to do that in the first half before the game starts. Just fucking start yelling at everybody. I don't know. Like these slow starts to kill him. And I mean the rate. I'm telling you right now. I'm 50-50 right now for this game on Monday. Part of me wants us to win because I just want us to win. Okay. Part of me wants Josh Jacobs to run for 500 fucking yards, so there's no excuse to not fire Joe Barry. Like you just have to do it now.
Pull the Lane Kiffin and leave him
Yes.
on the tarmac.
Well, yeah, bury a hole.
Yeah.
I'm about to dig a damn hole or some shit. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
just I can't wait for this game on Monday because I have a lot of family that are Raiders fans, right? And they're all talking shit. And I'm doing a reverse jinx right now. I'm like, oh yeah, Devontae's gonna have a revenge game. Josh Jacobs gonna have a breakout game. Could be a great game. Can't wait. In the back of my head, I'm thinking like, please, I hope none of that happens.
Maston brings up an interesting point there about the Mark Murphy era. Yeah, that might be the change. That might be the catalyst. Is when there's a new CEO in town, starts putting everybody, the GM, the coach, puts everybody on alert of, hey, we got to reprove ourselves to the new guy. So
it's
yeah,
fun. It's funny you say that too. What I love about that, because Rob Demoski said that yesterday on Homer's show, right? He said that when it comes to personnel decisions, right, Goody's in charge of that, okay? But when it comes to coaching, when it comes to everything else, Goody has no power over the floor. Basically, you know how they have that triangle bullshit, right? Everything goes up through Murphy, right? So basically, like when it comes to these coaching decisions, keeping certain coaches, not like whatever, Goody can't say shit, and it has to come from Murphy, right? Now, when Ed Policy, who's probably going to be the one that takes over for Murphy, comes into play, right? I hope he changes it and he lets the GM do the job, just like we used to do with Ted Thompson, right? And I like with Ron Wolf too, because Murphy, like I said, I just feel like my man just focused on sliding down the slide at Titletown and shit. You know what I mean? Like that's what he do. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just imagining Erin right now just like making 17 pictures. If she could, she'd probably post them all over our screen right now and see if we can find them. But no, I really feel like he's in charge of everything, and I don't want to blame him obviously, but there's no one coming down and being like, "Yo, Matt, like what the fuck is this? Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, we're better than this."
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. Let's go ahead and look at the game here for
Agreed.
Monday against the Raiders. Yeah, Murphy phenomenal at making money, which is a huge part of what it takes to be the CEO of the Packers. That's a pretty big part of it because there's no one single owner that can fund everything. So that's a pretty big part, but need the other half.
I was gonna say.
Well.
I mean, he's bringing the draft to Green Bay. I think that's amazing. I think like what he's done with the expansion of Titletown, expansion of Lambeau Field, and just everything he's done there, absolutely amazing, right? Like all that's great. Does he say the dumbest shit ever whenever they interview him? Yes.
Oh hell yeah, yes.
He's a fucking idiot. And like, do I need someone in there that just doesn't want to? I need someone to be there and just focus on business and let the GM and the head coach handle the team.
Yeah,
that's what we need again. We don't need this triangle triumphant fucking infinity sign or whatever, like fucking Illuminati sign or whatever. I don't need this shit anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done with it, man. I'm done with it.
Yeah. So Raiders game on Monday. I feel like I'm 50-50 too in a way because this is a Raiders team that is not good, but it's a little mini bye week. West Coast prime time. That's like a concoction of everything that never works well with Matt LaFleur as a head coach. It
It's
just
the perfect storm.
it's the perfect fucking storm, and and nothing sums it up better as like a metaphor than a terrible Packers run defense versus a terrible Raiders rushing offense. Like that is the epitome of what this game is. Two of the worst things going up against each other, and who sucks less.
It's like dirty water and like a dirty piece of paper, and
Yeah.
which one's gonna break first? Honestly, because
Right.
it is just like I love watching my boys play, and honestly, I can't wait. I'm hoping to God Jock can play so we can see 17 against 23.
We
And
need it. We need
and
it.
knowing me, you know what's gonna happen, right? You're gonna have fucking Rudy Ford somehow matched up on Devontae because Joe Barry does not want to let him
Preston
move.
Smith.
Preston Smith, no, thank you. Preston Smith, 91 is going to be somehow lined up on 17. I want them to zoom in on Devontae's face because he's going to have the biggest fucking smile when he sees that shit. But like he's not even going to have to worry about going through his like little dashboard of moves. He's just going to close them, be like, yeah, I got this. I'm going to close my eyes and just see what happens. Yeah, I'm going to do some funny shit here. But no, yeah, stoppable. I was thinking
force.
that.
Yeah, there you go.
I was thinking the opposite of both those things, just like that. I was like, oh, stoppable force against movable object. Yeah, what's going to win?
Right.
It's going to be a shit show. I just want to see our offense do something because this Raiders defense, being decent as it is with Patrick Graham being there and all that good stuff, it's not that great. And
It's not, they're terrible. Like I think I saw Mosqueda on Acme Packing today did a great thing of looking at some of the metrics, and the Packers are one of the best teams offensively in expected points throwing the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And the Raiders are dead last. Like this needs to be if the offense cannot get going against this defense,
yep.
What are you going to do against the Broncos in 3 weeks? What are you
Which
going
is
to do
literally the
against
worst
the
defense in the
Vikings?
league. Oh my
Right.
God.
Yes.
We can't lose to
exactly.
Russ, dude. We can't lose to Russ and Sean Payton. I just can't. I can't live with that. I talked so much shit about Russell Wilson. I can't have that come back on me. I just can't. No, unacceptable. Oh God, dude.
But Jeremy's kind of right there. If you can't get the offense going against this team,
yeah,
then maybe
it's not gonna happen.
that there's something broken. You know.
Yeah. This is where we need Aaron Jones to get the full load. This is where like we need to see a good balance of run and pass. Honestly, like we just cannot keep, this literally kind of come out here and like act like Jordan Love is like in year 10 veteran over here, knows everything that's going on in the defense. Like he's still learning. Like what about D'Amico Ryans? All these guys have been saying like you need a good run game to balance things out, right? Like even like with Zach Moss over in Indy, right? Anthony Richardson is a freaking rookie. But they balance it out with a good run game. Even though their offense line is shit, they still run the ball, right? And it's like, I understand like we're not getting much at a clip, but we still need to keep staying consistent with it because when you do play action and they have no fear of your run, it's like you're literally just like, you just look stupid out there. It's like you're dancing more than you are actually running a play because they know that they have no fear of your run game. So play action is pointless unless you set it up right, which is what LaFleur used to do. He used to do so much shit to set things up and then build off of it. He gets away from that so quickly nowadays.
Yeah.
And so no, I'm with you, man. Like this is the game where if Aaron Jones and Romeo Doubs and Watson don't go off, and I'm talking about Watson from like a sweep perspective, like taking reverses and shit like that, like Detroit did on us. Which, bro, when I saw that reverse play again, I literally almost took my dog and threw him across the room just because. And I love my dog to death, and she's 70 pounds, so I don't know what I was trying to do, but it was insane. I was just like, I was so fucking
I'm so fucking mad.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, what is that thing? He's doing it again. He's doing it again. Like it was like
getting away with this.
Yeah, it's my boy. What's my man's name from Breaking
Aaron
Bad?
Paul.
Yes. He's like, you can't keep getting away with this. And it was like Joe Barry just doing the same stupid shit and just like laying these stupid like these are plays that work in Madden. Like, these aren't even plays that work in real life. And Ben Johnson's out there like he's like, this looks like it'll be fun to do. Let's try it, guys. And oh look, shit, 50, 60 yards down the field. Wow, I didn't think that would happen. Like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right. Let's jump into some bar bets here. Now, this is where it gets interesting
Okay.
because it's you and I right now.
Mhm.
Usually there's three of us.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think producer Matt,
He has to
Matty
do some
P,
bets. He has to do some bets.
I think Matty has to do some bets. So jump
he has
on
to
in
be our
here, Matt.
equalizer. He'd be
Yeah,
equalizer.
the great equalizer. Hello, Matt.
What's up, buddy?
Hey guys, good to be on camera today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So I'll let you guys decide. Who do you want to represent, Todd or Jimmy? I will let you guys figure that one out.
I feel
I'll
like I'm
represent myself still.
Of course. I don't think
Obviously.
anyone can represent you,
Yes.
Dan. Dan, you're
Okay.
one of a kind, my friend.
I think Todd would want me to be his champion, so I will be
man.
Todd.
I want to duel for this right now. I do. That's like I got called away. I was like, I want to do trial by combat to be Todd's champion right now. I'm subbing for him. I thought I could be. Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll be Jimmy's guy.
You're subbing for Jimmy. You're subbing for Jimmy.
I'll be Jimmy.
That's what's
I'll
up.
be Jimmy's
So
guy. I could do that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So Ummer, Jimmy, Matt, Todd. Matt, you know you're always gonna have to bet 5, so just get ready. So our bar bets today, we're gonna look. These are a lot of usually we do a lot of over/under stuff. We're doing some head-to-head matchup stuff here. Aaron Jones versus Josh Jacobs. Who has more rushing yards on Monday? Aaron Jones or Josh Jacobs?
I'll jump in with that if I can, Dan. I think
please, Todd.
Yeah, keeping with it.
Yeah.
Keeping with that, movable force meets a unstoppable object. I think that we're going to be able to run up the yards on the run game. So I think it's going to be Aaron Jones over 5 Bakhtiaris, obviously, of course. Can I talk and put banners at the same time? That's a whole different.
Welcome to my world, baby. Yeah.
Oh my God, how do you do it? There it is, $5.
Yeah.
All right.
5 Bakhtiaris taking Aaron Jones. Umar, what do you think?
Oh, I'm going fucking fire Joe Barry, baby. I'm going Josh Jacobs, dog. I'm going Josh Jacobs, baby. Josh Jacobs gonna have 300 yards rushing. We're gonna win the game, but he's gonna have 363 yards rushing, just like we did against Philadelphia. He got 364. He gonna have 1 more yard more than they did in Philadelphia last year. And I bet
Bakhtiaris got on that there. I'm
three. I ain't going 5. I'm gonna have 3 bottles of scotch at that point when that shit happens. So I'll be dead. So it won't even matter. The emergency fucking signal worked his magic, and I'm a zombie now. It'll be awesome. No fucking good throw. My wife will be burning all my shoes and shit. It'll be a fucking
just a bonfire out.
It'll just be a terrible situation.
Just turns around, lights a match, throws it behind.
They don't matter.
I'm gonna take Aaron Jones because I have to. I think it feels
this
like
is the game.
It feels like I'm with Umar where I'm like, I bet Josh Jacobs just fucking goes bananas. But yeah, I mean, it's just if Aaron Jones, like I said, if Aaron Jones can't get going against this defense, then what the hell are we doing with him? What are we paying him for to come here and do this? So I'll say Aaron Jones, and I'll go 4 Bakhtiaris on it. But gosh, that bet makes me seem a lot more confident in it and then I really am.
I'm doing everything opposite too, because last time we did this and it was for the Saints game and I fucked up and everything was wrong. So I'm doing the complete opposite now. I'm flipping the script.
Okay, I like that. Sacrifice the bar bets for the good of the team.
Boom, there it is. My owl agrees.
So the next one here, I'm calling the not gonna miss my shot bet because we have a little Hamilton action. Alexander and Adams.
Oh, okay.
See what I did there?
I did. I like that actually.
Yeah.
I did everything. Okay.
I did a quick reference or a quick Google search, and Alexander Hamilton never ran against John Adams for president. So I was hoping for history to really be on my side and make it easy, but I'm going to go really lowest common denominator and go with the Hamilton reference. So I will I'm going to let this one kind of sit because I don't really think that there's a metric here that we can measure this off of. But I think it'll be obvious when we look at the end of the day who wins this battle between Jair Alexander and Devontae Adams. So I'll start with this. I'll start with this one because it's a little bit trickier. I think Jair wins the head-to-head battle, and I think Devontae, like if I would just said, all dependent on if he's available. He has that shoulder injury. Adams will eat elsewhere. If he goes up against Razul, if he goes up against anybody else, it's less likely to be against Jair. So I will take Jair winning the head-to-head battle, but Adams will get his in other places for sure.
How many about carries?
5. I'm 5. Give me 5 on
shit.
Jair. I'm also wagering 5 because there's like a hot chance that either one of them doesn't play and the bet gets null and void. And so
that would work too, actually. Yeah, bet canceled. Bad back and bad shoulder.
Yeah. Elmer, do you want to go next?
Okay, yes, I do. All right, so I'm going, because I'm just being a fucking contrarian right now. I am going Adams. He's going to go for 150 and 2 touchdowns. Revenge game is on point. And he used to own Alexander a lot in training camp anyways, and he used to talk about it. I think that the same shit's going to happen this time, but more than likely they are going to move him around. I'll put this caveat that I'm betting 4 Bakataris, and I'm putting this caveat out there.
Okay.
The only way Adams does not beat Ja is because either Garoppolo, because I think he's starting, or Aiden O'Connell is going to be sending out hospital balls to Devontae. And he's just going to have to like literally make lemons out of oranges with the shit that they're going to be throwing at him. So, sorry, lemonade with oranges. I just fucked that reference up. Sorry. But yeah,
I think it still works.
Making lemons out of oranges, that's hard.
Very hard to make lemons out of oranges.
And Devontae, I feel for him, man. I was watching him out there with Aiden O'Connell, and like, my God, like the balls is. I mean, Aiden was trying to do his best, but oh man, that went from like bad shoulder injury to almost collarbone broken. And I literally thought, I was like, please don't be. I love Devontae. I don't want anything to happen to him. I want him to chase everything he can get, right? But like, man, I was like, dude, don't be hurt. And like, even this game, like, I don't want him to get hurt. I want him to have a great game because he's the one football player that plays against our team that I would be like, okay, if he blew up, just because we lowballed him and we fucking pissed him off, and we could have easily still had him. I know there's a lot of shit there, but I'm just saying, he's just a good dude. He's just such a good dude. Like he could have easily came on and like bashed Packers when he talked on the Athlete First thing, right? And he didn't. He was like, I'm so cool with Goody. I still talk to him. He goes, I have no animosity with Green Bay. I always love Green Bay. They're the reason why I grew up in Green Bay. Like, I mean, you don't have that true Packer, man. You don't get guys like, they don't grow on trees. And I just miss the dude. He's a good dude, man.
No. Matt?
Yeah, I think it's a tough call. I think they won't be on Devontae very much at all, actually. I'd be surprised if we see that. And I think that'll be really evenly matched, so it'll be hard to say who. That's why I'm worried about the lack of a metric for this one, Dan. But just the same, I think we'll see at least a little bit more in favor of Jair. So I'm going Jair, and obviously 5 carries.
Of course, 5. Yeah. All right. So the last one, I'll go much more simple for you, Matt. Here, Max Crosby, Rashawn Gary, 2 of the best pass rushers in the game right now. Combined between these 2 players, not the team, these 2 players combined over under 5 sacks between the 2.
Oh, fuck off.
I'm going to say, I'll jump in here. I'm going to say over 5 all day because with the weird O-line we're going to have, that's going to be rough. With how good Rashawn Gary is, it's going to be rough for them. I think it's going to be easily over 5, personally.
Okay. Amr?
Over 5 Bakataris. Just because Rashawn Gary, I just saw a video that he put out with his whole like growing up and about his mom and like his recovery and everything, and he had me in fucking tears again because I love that man so much, and so he's gonna fucking have 5 sacks by himself probably. He's gonna pull like a Khalil Mack, right? And then Max Crosby is a more refined version of Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson's good, don't get me wrong, but he's just still figuring his shit out, right? Dude, Max is no damn joke. Like that kid is amazing, and like just everything he's been through, like all the sobriety and everything he had to go through to get to where he is, and but just seeing him even against the Chargers, he is an unstoppable force, man. Like I really hope that Elton plays. I hope they completely redo the offensive line. I hope that they go and trade for Quentin Nelson. I'm just talking shit. I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm going over and I'm going 5 Bakataris. Yeah, I'm all day, man. All day.
Okay. I'm actually gonna go under here. I'll go 4 Bakhtiaris because I think there's gonna be a lot of pressure on both quarterbacks, and so I think there's going to be a wide distribution of players getting into the backfield, and so to say that these two will combine for 5 is really close. Like it's one of those where it's like, yeah, like on paper it should like you guys are all saying, like these two should be the ones that are if you're going to say who are the two most likely to combine for 5 sacks between the two teams, it's these two. But it's one of these, like, it's like a Ralph Nader situation. Like there's too many third-party candidates out here that are going to eat. Like Iowa Joe brings up LVN. Like I think he gets in there. Carl Brooks has been causing a lot of problems. So I think there's going to be a lot of pressure coming from everywhere. And so I just wonder if there's going to be enough to go around to combine these two for 5. So I'm going to err on that side and go under. Did I go 4 or 5 Bakhtiaris? 4. 4 sounds right. Yeah, I'll go 4. So,
okay.
All right. Well, that about wraps it up here. Elmer, appreciate you stepping in and tag teaming this with me, and of course Maddie stepping in and filling the role of Todd on the bar bets as well. Thank you so much to everybody that came in and joined us for the show today. I know it was a little funky today, but thanks for sticking around and chatting Packers with us. We might be talking next on Monday.
Monday night, right?
On the post game. So
I figure we'll go like right after the game, right? Because it'll be late as fuck anyways. Yeah,
that's what I'm feeling.
Like 10-15 minutes after, let's just do it, and let's just hope I'm still alive at that point. And
otherwise, I'll be talking to Elmer's ghost.
It's probably
get the most views ever.
The grades will still be there, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you're following us everywhere at Game On WI. Subscribe on the YouTube channel to get notified every time that we go live here on the show and the post games as well. All of that stuff here on the Game On channel. For Todd, who I'm sure if he was drinking, he'd be blackout drunk at this Brewers game. It's not going super great. So I hope
what's the score?
It is 5-2 now. Diamondbacks. They put up 4 runs in the 5th inning.
Oh,
apparently, it was only the 4th time in team history they've scored 4 runs in an inning.
Oh, God.
So it's not going great. For Jimmy hanging out with his kids. For producer Matt stepping in, for Ummer hanging out with us. I'm your bartender Dan Kontnick saying cheers, everybody. And as always, go Pack, go.
Go Pack.